We're back! Hooray, can everyone see me? What's going on? Picture's gone wonky. What's going on? It's all gone wonky. Are we back? I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, there we go. Uh,
Yay.
Ewan's now Anna,
Oh.
and Sux is now Mac.
True.
I need to move that around. That was quite
No, just
quick.
leave
All
it.
gone
It's all good.
horribly wrong.
It's all
You're
good.
the masters of disguise.
So
It
confused.
adds to the professionalism of the channel.
It's fun for you. It's impossible for me. I struggle as it is.
Plus, I'm with Antonio, so I may as well be Anna.
You are Anthea.
It's nice that you're next to me, though.
In spirit, not in name.
It
Yeah,
feels,
well,
it feels
exactly.
right, though. It feels right, fine. It feels like things are meant to be.
Plus, you two can now do a fist bump. You can do the fist bump of your dreams.
Wait a sec. We will. I just need to move some words. Now we can fist bump. Come on, don't leave me hanging now. I went through a lot for that.
I'm going to have to zoom in.
I crashed only so that I would end up next to you, my friend.
Worth it. Totally worth it.
I crashed only so I could end up next to you.
Now that was worth it. It's all about the Antonio accent.
Okay, so Mac's waiting for Chaz to get some coffee. And either he's frozen again or he's just staring in one place. For me, anyway. Bill and Antonio and Anna and Nancy are all looking to go to the pub for two slightly different reasons. Are you all going over together or separately?
Me and Nancy are gonna swing by like some shops. I don't know. There might be something on the way that we can. We just feel like gossiping a little bit. Anna's got some key questions about Antonio that she wants to ask in private. Yeah. So
Well,
probably not.
As you go into
come on,
the main
Antonio.
area, Anna, because I will spend some time with Bill and Antonio, but just so that you know, and it gives you some chance to think. When you go out into the hub area, there are lots of stalls. So like I said, traders come down for a week at a time. They set up their stalls. They sleep in the little trader cabins, and there's a whole range. So there's like
And this is a fairly industrial place. So
Yeah.
there's lots of like mechanic-y, techie things.
Yeah. So you've got a downstairs and an upstairs. From the middle, you can see that upstairs on the mezzanine there are more vending machines. There's some convenience stores. You can see an 812 up there. You can see the other sort of loads of small traders with little stands, little desks, like a boot fair almost, with little flags and things they're selling. Yeah, have a mooch around if you want. We can roll for things in a minute. I'll follow Bill for now, but think about what you fancy, and we can do some rolls at some point. So, right, Bill, Antonio, what are you up to?
Bill will say, "Come on, Antonio, let's head to the bar. We'll give them some time to talk."
Okay, so you head through directly opposite. In fact, there is the main pub you're looking for, the bar, the undercarriage. Now I do have a graphic for that. There it is. And I feel that it's a bar, so we'll put some music on. I feel like mine is like country music, so we'll get some country music on.
I'm really being punished tonight.
Yeah. It's not our fault your internet went down, Luke. Don't punish us for it.
I've chosen chaos right now. Very angry. So as you go to the front, you see the big metal sign. It's very rusty metal that's sort of been carved into it, laser cut into it, the undercarriage bar. And you can see as you walk to it, it's on this floor. And you can see directly above it on the mezzanine, there's another entry up there. So it's at least spread over 2 floors. And then there's a big poster at the front that they've obviously just taken from Reno. And they've sort of, the old bit of paper that's been put diagonally over the venue, Now here, the undercarriage. And it says, fight downstairs, which suggests there might even be a basement area. So it's a big place. There is sort of a bouncer on the door, but he pays no heed to you as you enter. It's busy, but it's not totally rammed at this point, and it's obviously early enough that he's not worrying yet about vibes. Inside, it's a grimy, metal-clad drinking hole for Irvin's industrial miners. Music blares at all hours, and a variety of sports are playing on blocky screens hanging at the corners. Smoking's prohibited, but it doesn't stop anyone. And there is a haze that sits like a good couple of feet below this. You can sort of see there's parts where there's some gaps in the ceiling, sort of where you can, purposeful gaps, where you can see that there's upstairs. There's an upstairs as well. There's a whole upstairs area. And you can see a couple of spiral metal staircases, sort of industrial, sort of heading up. Not nice ground ones, those just to take up less space. Are heading upstairs. And you can see at the back there does appear to be a sign and sort of a door to go downstairs. And that has got some tape over it at the minute. The bar is directly opposite the entrance. There's a swing door to the left as you go in with toilets written on. And like I say, there's the downstairs signage down there as well. There's a board on the side with a list of music events, sort of gigs and sports events that are happening downstairs. And of course the big boxing fight poster right next to it. It's full, mostly minors, but there are some brave, abyss-suited characters that have come in to try and get some cheap industrial beers in them before the big fight. And there's country music blaring out the speakers, of course, because why not? Miners love country.
So as we enter and we take in the ambience of the general place, Bill will take out his pack of half smoked cigarettes, his half pack of cigarettes. Either way, we'll take him out and he'll light one up and he'll offer one to Antonio.
He sort of looks at them and he sort of licks his lips and he says, I told Anna that I was giving up, but I am overcome with temptation. And he takes one and he puts it between his perfectly honed lips and waits for... he purses them slightly and waits for your lighter.
And as Bill brings the lighter up to his cigarette, and you see he looks him straight in the eye and says, "Tell me, it's funny you should bring Anna up. What are your intentions with our young Anna?"
Wow! No!
Light his cigarette for him.
I honestly thought you were going to go, fuck, you're beautiful. You completely answered that. Okay.
They cover your ears. You're quite quiet to me at the minute, Anna. I don't know if it's me
Oh.
or you're just away from the microphone or something.
I was leaning back and laughing really hard.
Oh, I don't want to miss out on you. That's all.
Oh, bless you. No, it's fine.
Antonio sort of takes a deep puff on the cigarette and blows it up into the space. He looks beautiful smoking,
By the way, kids, smoking is bad. Don't do it.
Smoking is bad for you, very bad for you. And if you're a kid watching this at 2:20 in the morning, there's you've got more problems.
You have to be
Time to reevaluate your life.
Make better choices.
And he sort of thinks and he says, "You know how long I've known Anna? Of course, American time, Gabby.
Not that long.
Canadian.
Only British. That's Canadian. Sorry, only British children we're talking to.
yeah, that's true.
I've known her 28 hours, and she is a beautiful woman with a beautiful, and his hands do that, and
Aura, yes.
she has so much, how you say, spunk to her. I wish to get to know her more, but my intentions long term is hard to say. I hope we live long enough to get to know each other better.
It's a very good way to phrase things, I think, given your experience with the Alchemist and us three. I can respect that. Anyway, the real reason we're here. I feel at this point we need to find out some more information about. And he'll lean in very close to his ear and hold a hand over his mouth and whisper, Casey Paras. Casey.
It's Bill, it's easy for you to say.
God.
But shh, he puts his finger on Bill's lips. He says, but shh, from now on, I will say her name as you are. You cannot say it. Let us find out more about Casey Parazzo. But first,
Bill,
what do you...
half sort of stunned and just nods.
As you feel yourself falling under his spell, he says, but first, what would you like? Shall we have a drink? What would you like? And he sort of strides over to the bar before you've even answered.
I'll have a make mine a curlies.
Ah, of course. I've heard you like the knob. And he gets over to the bar, and behind it is a man. And from what you can tell from the general ambiance and the bants as you approach the bar, it does appear to be the guy that runs the bar. Whether he's the owner or the manager or the landlord, you don't know. But there's a lot of sort of chatter in between him and some regular minor patrons that are all sat along the bar. It's all sort of metal stools, a metal worktop. Whereas the Vipers, of course, felt like that sort of biker bar, a lot of wood, a lot of old sports memorabilia in that. This is much more sort of industrial feeling. This man's chatting with them. I've got a picture for him because he's a landlord and you've got to have pictures of people if they're important. Where is he? There he is. There he is! Terence Roy.
Nice.
His name. As you can see it, there's a sign, of course, at the back that says
T-Roy.
Landlords T. Roy. Terence Roy.
Yeah.
And he just looks you and Antonio up and down. And he says, okay, what do you two off-worlders want? And Antonio says, my friend will have the Curly's knob. And I will have... what a treat. I will have the minus special. And you can see that one of the sort of the ale pumps that obviously used to be a branded drink is like being gaffer taped over with the undercarriage minor special there instead. So he sort of pumps a minor special out. It's very cloudy looking, very gnarly looking, and he sort of puts the old the glass for the Curly's knob up onto the optics and pours you a very generous single, like an Irish single, you know. And he dumps them down and he says, That's five dollary dues then, please. And Antonio reaches into his pocket and he sort of pulls out a few coins and puts them down in front of the landlord. He says, thank you very much. And he hands you the knob, Bill. The Curly's.
Thank you. Thanks, friend.
It's always better to drink with a friend.
He'll offer up his glass for a cheers. Cheers to that.
And he certainly gets one. And then he says, he sort of takes a first mouthful and he says, now, if you'll excuse me, I need the toilet. It has been 11 hours since I last urinated.
Oh.
It seems very, very specific. But...
and he puts the glass down
guess.
and heads straight through the toilet, just leaving you there at the front.
Oh my god.
For anyone tuning in or raiding, this is what it's like. Time, don't worry. And Bill will sip away. And is Casey's picture on the posters for the boxing?
Yeah, it's a classic. It's a very sort of classic boxing poster with the sort of the stars and the two people sort of facing each other with the fists up. So
Yep.
Red's there on one side and Casey's there with the other. You can see she's been described to you before, I believe. She's got a shaved head, like a spider web tattoo on there. Very tough, snarly looking woman.
But Bill will position his back to the bar as Antonio walks away and sort of lean back a little bit and survey the room and see if he can see Casey Pratto.
Right, could you please roll an observation?
With an upper hand, because I managed to say it correctly that time. Worth a shot.
Whoa.
Ooh.
You know some things you're looking for. You're still quite sober, which is quite rare in one of our games. I'll give you an upper hand. Sure.
Oh.
I'm feeling generous. Just it's that time of night.
Gentle.
We hit generosity hour.
There was enough good interaction with Antonio that I earned it. Yeah. Which makes it 11 on the dice. With a... Is that just an observation? Did you say?
Yeah, just an observation.
That's 11.
It's 11.
That's good.
Now, you don't notice Casey up there, and it's not necessarily a surprise. She is one of the sisters of a major crime family that's about to have a big boxing match, and she's got a lot of things on her plate. However, as you look around, there is a face you do recognise, especially with that sort of role. And it's someone who has been talked about before. It's a sharp, thin man with carefully coiffed hair. He's got style. He's wearing a floral shirt and high-waisted trousers. And it looks like he's got a couple of, like a high caliber pistol, just sort of shoved down the front of it, like he's in a Tarantino movie, basically. As so it's shoved the front of the shirt in, but the sides are sort of hanging out a bit. And he's sort of looking around quite frantically. And this man, the group knows, because this man is John Rogers, who is indeed the lover of Red herself. In fact, if I bring the picture up, I think we've shown his picture before, because it got mentioned that he looked like he's from Twilight. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, the
Well, that's right.
Parkinson.
Yeah. Less the gun, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
So, to out of characterly refresh my memory, he is the guy that Indy, the kid in prison, said did him over and ripped him off.
No, the
John
person
Rogers.
the person that did him over was Saul Jackson, which
Who's
is
the manager?
Who's the manager of Jesse Rhodes. And you've sort of seen him. You've nicked his
Okay.
car. He's unpleasant, from what you can
Yeah.
tell. He's the manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a tangled web,
It's such a tangle web. It's such a tangle web we weave.
and it doesn't
Indeed.
help that I'm very rarely sober and not often paying this much attention.
There's a lot of names and a lot of Polaroids up there. And you're normally thinking about Antonio, so it's understandable. Okay, yes, but anyway, that's a face that you notice skittishly looking through the crowds. He's not going to be there forever, but he's sort of looking around.
Bill will break away from the bar with his curly's knob and approach. I suppose walk towards him. Sorry, John, is it? I know by name, right?
You know him by name, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sort of looks nervous, and he's sort of looking over your shoulder, and he's like, "Yep, who are you? Who are you?"
I'm say I'm a friend of a friend. You look a bit you look a bit unhinged, a bit nervous. You looking, and Bill will look over his shoulders. You looking for anyone in particular?
Yeah, I am. I am.
Can I help at all?
You probably know her. Have you seen Jessie Rhodes? Jessie Rhodes. I know it's a. I know her. Do you know? Have you seen her?
It's funny you should say that. My one of my crew knows Jessie Rhodes quite well. She's put some tickets aside for us. I haven't seen her around. I assume, Luke, I didn't see her around in my...
No, not in the look. No.
No, I haven't seen her around at all. In fact, well, maybe I better not say anything here. I haven't seen her.
But you say your friend knows her. You know, you've.
My friend managed to get her to put some tickets aside for us for obviously for the boxing.
Oh man, I need to find it. I'm on borrowed time here. I don't have long. Where's your friend that knows? He's sort of nervous. He's sort of biting his nails. You know, where's your friend that's met her? Like, I really need to find her before the fight. Really, don't know how long we need to find her.
Bill will say, "Well, we split up. I could call her over, but it feels as though maybe we should talk in a bit of a look around, quieter place."
You see John sort of looks around and sees sort of a darker corner and sort of grabs you a bit and pulls you into sort of the darker corner. There's a jukebox playing country, of course, and hopefully that's not too loud for the stream. By the way, I'll turn it off if it's annoying. The crew don't get a say in it, but you, dear listeners, do. And there's sort of a pool table doing its thing and that, but then around the sort of corner, it's a bit dark, and John Rogers pulls you there if you're willing to be pulled in that regard.
I think he's already pulled.
It feels like a weighted question, but yeah, sure, why not? Yeah.
When you get there, John Rogers makes a big sign of sort of showing that he's armed. These pistols there, you can see there's the grip of the pistol has like dogs playing poker. It's painted on the grip. It's very sort of eccentric, really. And he's like, I don't know if I can trust you. Like, trust is hard to find, right, around here.
Trust is hard to find pretty much anywhere we go, to be honest.
And he sort of whispers to you, he says, and he puts one hand on the grip, and he says, you know I'm a wanted man, right?
Bill will get slightly closer, almost to within whispering distance, and say, "Yeah, but we're not here for you."
It's almost like he doesn't hear you at this point, and he's like, 6 credits, you know. And do you know what my crime is?
What would you say your crime is?
My crime is love. My crime is love. You see, do you know why I'm wanted?
2 arms and a heart.
Not for killing anyone, not for running drugs, not for violence, nothing. They want me purely because I escaped folk song, and I've come on a mission of love to save Red from herself.
Quickly out of character, Bill and Mac both know that is where Anna spent time, right?
I think by this point they know. Yeah, I think by this point I think she probably told them that when they were in her friend's house, Bean's old house.
Unless
there's,
they wanna.
there's a lot of
Or-
there's a lot of Anna's story you don't know. It's up to you, Anna. There's bits you've told
Yeah,
them, and there's stuff they don't know. So
I would say at this bit, particularly after they were eavesdropping on the conversation with Tony Perazzo, where she mentioned that she was in
that did
prison.
cut in and out though.
I would say they have an idea. They don't know how long or what for, but they know that she was in prison at least, and that's where she became a mechanic, or like learnt her shipbuilding skills. I would say that's fair.
Okay, cool. Bill will say it's funny. It's funny you should mention because my friend who lined up some tickets. That's where they spent a bit of time as well. And he'll keep his voice very low and be looking around in a shifty manner at this point.
What's your name, friend?
Bill will give him a look up and down, and he'll look down to his hand that's still on the handle of his gun, and he'll say, It's a funny way to approach a friend, but I'm Bill Raven."
Bill Raven. I believe I can. My mum always said, "Trust the birds." And
Birds of a feather.
they do flock together. I'm a trusting man, and that's what's got me into a lot of troubles. But I will tell you this. He sort of bites his nail again. I do need your help. If you're willing to help me and not turn me in, and you'll do it for love. I saw you in here with your boyfriend, and I understand that you must understand love. And if I need to find Jessie. She's falling in with wrong people. She's her manager. He's getting her to smuggle drugs. He's getting her to smuggle it like a mule, and he's made her do it before. And that's what I heard about. That's why I needed to get out. That's why I broke out. Because I need to get her away from him, start a new life. And I know, and he's getting a bit excited, but then he has to lower his voice again because a couple of people sort of look around. And it's just like, I'm a wanted man. If you can get Red to me, and you can get us off this place, I promise I can pay you. Maybe not. And he sort of says, man, 6 credits. Maybe not that. But I can, and maybe the biggest payment of all is love. When you and your boyfriend are sat there around the fire in 50 years' time as old men, you can think back to this moment,
Bill will look him in the eye and say, "Well, he's not my boyfriend. He's in fact, I'd say he's closer to being the boyfriend of the person I was talking about earlier. But it wouldn't be the first time that It wouldn't be the first time today that I've made a decision in the favour of love. He'll lower his voice a little bit more at that point. I'll definitely see what I can do. More importantly, though, the reason I approached is my friend and I, not my boyfriend, my friend. I feel as though we share some kind of common interest, and we're looking out for the interests of Jessie, as you are, obviously. But we and here again he'll lean quite close in and say, we're looking for Casey. We want to try and find some information or the location or the habits of Casey Prancer.
Roll for me.
Should have saved my true grit.
Probably because you know exactly what you're going to be rolling in your conversations. You're a gritter, not a talker.
But I've still got a boot.
A gritter, not a quitter.
Gritter, not a quitter. And you also will get the upper hand because he's softening to you.
Does that mean I can use my my boon
you want to
and
guarantee it.
also to succeed this? I'll
Yes.
do that definitely.
It means that you're on a double date now. But
Rather
using
than doing it to try and screw over my fellow player, I will do it now.
To actually help the group.
Yeah. Feels better.
John sort of looks you up and down a bit, and his hand really relaxes off the grip, and you can see the beautiful painted drawing of the dogs playing poker. A painting that's he must have spent a lot to get that done. Much more expensive than his floral shirt, which looks very much off the peg and ill-fitting, but frayed around the
What,
edges.
judgy?
Well, you know, judge not lest
The
be
man's on a
judged, I guess.
run.
Exactly. He says, "I did see Casey when I managed to get through. She was off in the. She'd gone off to the offices. If you need her, I'd imagine she'll be here before the fight. Downstairs, there's. I'm from this area. I know the place downstairs. I've been down there a lot. There's rooms out back and things, and sort of changing rooms and stuff. She'll get down there before the fight, but for now, she seems to be in the offices. So that's when I saw her. He says, I can trust you, right, Bill? You're a man of your word.
I am. I'd like to think so, at least. Which offices?
The as you come in through the door and you look forward, the ones to your left, the ones opposite from here, the opposite side from here.
Yeah, and 9 o'clock-ish.
So if it was a circle, they're like we're at 9 o'clock, so they'd be the ones at like 1 o'clock.
Okay.
The first one when I explained it to Ben, it's the first thing.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And he says, if I can trust you, and you learn anything about Jesse, I'm lying low, okay? Of course. I'm going to look for her for a bit more, but then after that, I've hired out a cabin, one of the traders' cabins. It's cabin 21. Under a false name, so
Yeah.
don't even bother asking my name. But if you find out anything, or you can get her to come to my cabin, or you can come to the cabin or bring us to the cabin or anything over the next few hours, please do, okay? And like I say, if you can get us off, we owe you. The drugs she's carrying are worth a lot, and if you can get us away, I'd imagine you can have at least some of that.
Do you want off before or after the fight?
Sooner the better. Sooner the better. Sooner the better.
See what we can do.
And he sort of nods at you, and then you sort of, people are playing on a fruit machine, and you hear that sort of pling, 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 pling. And you sort of, your eyes half turned, caught by that. And by the time you look back, he's gone. He's just vanished off into the shadows. Poof, just gone. And you're left standing there alone.
Smooth criminal.
And what happens is you look across and you see Antonio at the bar, and you sort of walk towards him, and the camera sort of stays where it is, and it sort of sees your back as you walk towards him, and zooms in on your back. And when the camera zooms out from your back again, it's Chaz's back as he's as he's walking back to the back to the booth with a couple of coffees for Mac.
Nice.
And he's like, sorry, Mac, that took forever. It's just that one guy, it's just that Thomas guy. He's so slow, man.
Thanks. Yep. Take the coffee and nod for him to take a seat because we've got a few minutes to wait.
So, lovely weather we're having.
Weather, yeah. It's one of those things about living inside a shipping container on a vacuum world. Weather is stable. Is that a good thing to say about it? Consistent?
It's my favourite kind of weather.
Air conditioned and faintly sweaty.
You get used to it, I'm sure. And he sort of takes another sip of his drink and looks around awkwardly.
So, tell me about yourself.
Well, you know my name. My name's Chaz. I'm from the surface. Lived there my whole life. I became a Viper when I was young. Started working on cars and things as a kid, sort of keeping a lookout, running stuff as needed. Looks quite proud of himself at this minute. It's like I was always like the lookout for the bar. If there was trouble coming, I'll be the one that ran inside and shouted at everyone, who was coming. And they'd all like clear up what was going on, clear it all away, get ready. They used to give me. I used to get like 3 bottles of drink, like fizzy drink.
Yeah.
Pats on the head. So many. It was good times. Good times, Mac. Not like now. Things are tough now. This weather, huh?
Sure. Yeah. You armed, Chaz?
I certainly am. And he's sort of he's got his jumpsuit, boiler suit thing on, which he's sort of grumpy about a bit because it hides some of the places for weaponry. But he sort of unzips his jumpsuit rather alarmingly, and somehow he's managed to stash sort of a small sawn off inside his jumpsuit, obviously jaggling around his nipples when he's wearing it. But it's sort of strapped in there. He's like, I'm always armed. People always underestimate me. They fall for Antonio's charm. Vasquez always looks like she can hold her own, but I've learned a lot,
Is that a nickname you've got for Nancy?
Yeah. Have you ever seen that film?
No, I can't say I have.
It's a good film. She models herself on her.
Nancy Vasquez.
Nancy Vasquez. That's the nickname. Yeah.
Nancy Vasquez.
I think we covered that.
Yeah. So, have you been up here before?
Once or twice. My mum used to knit. She used to crochet these beautiful little wallets out of wool with little poppers on, and she used to come here twice a year to try and sell her wares to the miners here. She never sold a wallet, but she sold a ton of drugs.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
that's all they need. That's what they want here. But they're outlawed. They're always looking for new ways to get free. They had long hours. It's dangerous. Do you know what I mean? Looking for things to stay sharp, keep the energy up, and that's the biggest business here. Half of these traders are probably carrying stuff under the counter. Do you know what I mean? Sick Roy, take care, man. Thanks for joining us.
Good night, Roy.
Yeah, I can imagine. They've got a pharma company here.
Yeah,
Maybe.
just around the way. Yeah.
What's the reputation of them? Are they play everything straight, or do they do some under the counter deals?
I've never used the one here. They're a chain, and from what I've heard, they sort of, while there's an overarching sort of theology behind them, they sort of deal very differently depending on where you are. They tend to look after the people they need, you know. If it's a place where lots of arms get ripped off, they do a lot of bandages. If there's a place where a lot of people get tired and need to stay awake, you know, there's things you can give people for that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm guessing place like this, fatigue and arm ripping are both possibilities.
I'd imagine it's two of their main lines, isn't it? Yeah. They probably don't have too many hay fever tablets.
Probably not a lot of hay fever medication. No, that's probably true. So the miners here, they mostly contract. They just come in for a job, or do they tend to be employed?
Bit of both, really. There's a couple of major workers down here. The Parazzos have their own sort of business down here, so there's people that work for them. There's a couple of other organisations that do, you know, the guys we parked next to on the way. That's one of the big organisations that ship in and out. There's some freelancers that float around. The place itself has people just sign themselves over for a contract for like a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
Sort of make what they can and get out with all their fingers intact, you know.
And the people who work here as miners, they use the shuttle up and down to wherever they're mining.
Yeah.
And these cabins, they stay in the cabins?
Yeah, from what I know, the ones down at the bottom, they there's loads. Apparently, there's like I remember getting taken into a couple before. I had to like run small packages for my mum, you know, to certain rooms, and it was a long time
little
ago.
wallets.
Yeah, and there was quite stuffed full of things, you know.
Yeah.
From what I remember, that things were much newer then. Of course, this is a while back. It's like 10 years ago. 15 years ago, but there'd be like some that were just simple cabins. Some had been turned into shared bathrooms. There'd be some that were like the wall had been torn down, so like little lounges made where there would have been two cabins. Just loads of miners sort of crashing out, drinking, relaxing in their own space, from what I remember.
Right. Yeah.
Almost like, you know, like almost like shipping cabins. Do you know what I mean? Almost like shipping containers.
Exactly. Yeah, I get it. The environment sounds pretty rough and ready, but I'm sure it's functional if you're just here to work for a while and earn some cash.
They work hard, drink hard, earn money. It's decent money, really, and then try and start a new life elsewhere. Or some go to another system and start all over again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. It's good to have someone who's been around this place a few times with us, someone who's a bit more familiar with it. And I will sip my coffee and wait for the arrival of our farmer person.
I need to turn the country music off. That's what we need to do. I need to turn these people off as well. Can you please roll an observation for me, please?
Certainly can. That is a mighty 6.
Mighty 6. You don't see, as you sit there and you wait for a while, there's no one that approaches you personally. There's no one that sort of looks like they're going to be approaching you as you sit there. However, what you have missed, but what Anna actually notices first while she's out in the foyer, sort of looking around, she sort of looks over and she sees a recognisable figure walking into the hot pot. And that recognisable figure has red hair, a furry jacket, and gauze bindings around her fists. Because it appears that before her fight, Jessie Rhodes really needs a nice cup of coffee. And that's where we're going to end for this evening.
Ah, no, I have a whole plan though. A whole plan.
Right, we start with you next week then. Plan, mate.
Nice.
We've got red
remember
on
that.
us.
You've got
Okay.
red.
Ah.
Enter
This is
red.
excellent.
So yeah. So good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
What a wild ride.
What a wild ride.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Luke.
And you install my boyfriend.
Without even trying. It was effortless.
I know.
That's the most 12. That's the most 12 years old you've ever sounded. And he smells.
He's got scruffy hair and his mates keep making fart jokes.
So he's got the lurgy and nits. What does he see in him?
He's my boyfriend. I asked him out.
I did that thing where we put our names together and did the numbers, and it gave me a really high percentage.
It was 78%, which is more than he had with anybody else, including Megan.
And he drew a love heart on my book and wrote our names in it.
And then forever, which means it's definitely love.
Well, the number 4 EVA, yeah.
We've named our babies and everything.
We pricked our fingers and
We're
pushed
gonna
them
get
together.
a dog.
Get a dog.
He was going to come to my house and play PlayStation, and he stole him.
I can't think of anything else we could have done.
You doing Antonio, chatting up Bill was honestly the high point of my week.
Good, I'm glad.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And on that bombshell, we'll have to finish for this evening. And some of you have really lasted really well with us, and we really appreciate that, because I just went like 4 hours, which is silly long. So thank you, and thank you, players, as well.
Oh, thanks.
It was fun.
It was
Thanks.
enjoyable.
When are you doing your next Luke Plays? Is that tomorrow or is that Monday?
That's Monday. We take Sundays off at the minute because it's nice to have a bit of a relax. I watch some American football, and I go to bed a little bit earlier and just sort of recover a little bit. It's nice. It's a nice, lovely way.
Get your cardigan and your slippers on.
Exactly. I've got my slippers
Also,
on right now. Actually.
I may be watching a football match at 7ish.
Oh, of course, some national team is playing that we live in.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Well, in
yeah,
which
I might
case-
be watching that. Possibly in some kind of public house.
Oh, well.
In a public house?
Indeed.
Gosh.
Quite plausibly. Well,
Risky.
my television doesn't get ITV.
Because Ben's television is from 1956.
It just refuses.
It's a 2-channel telly. It's still running CFAX.
When it hits 10 p.m, the national anthem plays, and then that girl, the girl with the noughts and crosses and the clown,
The crazy girl with the blackboard. Yeah.
and when you turn it off, it goes down to that little white dot right in the middle of the screen, which stays there for ages.
Yeah.
When you
And then
turn
you
it
get
on,
the-
it's all fuzzy.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to twiddle the dial when it's raining, otherwise you don't get the signal.
And it's about 3 times as deep as the screen is wide as well. Good time.
Yes, I know. I'm afraid none of my televisions have ever got ITV. They consider it common, so they don't let it in the house. I don't know why.
mean, it's fine. ITV is for Lambrini girls. We all know. It's fine.
I see Ewan's staying conspicuously quiet right now. Right.
I think
Anyway,
Ewan's already dated about Antonio.
exactly. Yes, he's all woozy.
Look, I'm fine. Sharing is caring. If you want to ride the, I don't know the word for something Spanish and hot, the Mistral. I don't know. That's French. Whatever. If you want to enjoy his throbbing hog, Ewan, go right ahead. I mean, Anna's not possessive. She's
Why
fine.
the Mistral? It's not like a burger wrapper that someone's dropped. It's like blown down the street somewhere.
I was trying to think of like a hot Spanish wind, blow through his hair and his heart, but I couldn't come up with one. So I
But
went French instead.
The
That's my
word
style.
Sirocco is happening in my head, but I have a vague feeling that might be French as well. I can't remember.
Isn't that a car?
Yeah, I also think so.
Yeah.
Or ride the Mazda.
The Mazda. On all those
Toyota.
on all those multiple bombshells. Let's go. I need to go to bed.
And Luke's like, shut up now.
Come on. I let you play late, but I need to go to sleep now.
Oh, thank you, Luke. Thank you,
And
Ben.
thank you all as well.
Ben.
You're all legends. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, everybody,
Thank you,
and thank you
viewers.
to any VODers who catch up later. Neil before VOD as
Oh, the
always.
VOD squad.
Wow.
And yes, we'll catch you on Monday night for some Luke plays. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Cheers, Kels. Love you all. Bye.